Remember the ice bucket challenge? Or maybe the mannequin challenge? Viral challenges are nothing new, but in the age of algorithms, they spread faster than ever before. One moment, a funny dance is just a post from a single creator. The next, it's a global phenomenon. But what happens when these trends take a dark turn? Today, rediving deep into the explosive rise and dramatic fallout of a social media challenge that swept the globe, leaving a trail of unexpected and serious consequences in its wake. This is the story of how a seemingly harmless trend went viral and spiraled out of control. It all started innocently enough, as these things often do. A creator, let's call her Jane, posted a short, quirky video. The premise was simple: balance an object in a slightly precarious, yet visually interesting way. It was dubbed the Gravity Defy Challenge. The video was clever, well shot, and had that magic ingredient of being just difficult enough to be impressive, but easy enough for anyone to try. In the first 24 hours, it got a respectable 10,000 views. But then, the algorithm kicked in. The platform's For You page started pushing Jane's video to a wider audience. People were intrigued. A few hundred users tried it themselves, tagging their attempts with the official hashtag. Then, a major influencer with millions of followers stumbled upon it. They did their own version, a slightly more polished and exaggerated take. That was the spark that lit the fuse. Within a week, the hashtag had over 100 million views. It was everywhere. News channels started running segments on the hot new trend. Celebrities were posting their attempts. Brands were scrambling to incorporate it into their marketing. The Gravity Defy Challenge was no longer just a video. It was a cultural moment. For Jane, the original creator, life changed overnight. Her follower count skyrocketed. Brand deals and media requests poured in. She was hailed as a creative genius, the mastermind behind the world's latest obsession. It was the dream of every aspiring content creator come true. But as the challenge grew, so did the stakes. People weren't just balancing books on their heads anymore. They were trying to one-up each other, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and what was safe. The first signs of trouble appeared subtly. A compilation video showed a few fails. People dropping objects, maybe breaking a vase or two. It was laughed off as part of the fun. Then the fails started getting more serious. The trend evolved from balancing simple household objects to balancing heavy, dangerous items. We started seeing videos of people trying to balance lawnmowers on fence posts or televisions on top of ladders. The pursuit of viral fame was overshadowing common sense. Hospitals began to report an uptick in injuries directly related to the challenge. Sprained ankles, broken bones, and concussions became alarmingly common. Emergency room doctors took to social media, pleading with people to stop. They shared anonymized stories of the injuries they were treating, hoping to inject a dose of reality into the viral fantasy. One particularly harrowing story involved a teenager who attempted the challenge with a heavy piece of furniture, which fell and caused a severe head injury. The fun and games were over. The consequences were now real and life-altering. This is a common pattern with viral challenges. There's an initial phase of fun and community, followed by a competitive phase where participants try to escalate the difficulty, which then leads to a dangerous phase where the pursuit of views eclipses safety. Social media platforms are designed to reward engagement, and extreme content often generates the most engagement. Clicks, likes, and shares are the currency, and a video of a risky stunt is far more likely to get traction than a safe one. The algorithm, in its relentless pursuit of keeping our eyes on the screen, inadvertently fans the flames. It doesn't distinguish between a creative dance and a dangerous dare. It only sees engagement metrics. The backlash began to build. The same news outlets that had celebrated the trend were now running cautionary tales. Comment sections, once filled with praise and laughing emojis, were now flooded with warnings and criticism. The hashtag became a battleground between those still trying to go viral and those trying to shut the trend down. Jane, the creator who had been celebrated just weeks before, was now at the center of a storm of controversy. She was accused of starting a dangerous movement, with some people even blaming her directly for the injuries that occurred. The pressure was immense. She released a statement urging people to be safe, but it was too little, too late. The trend had taken on a life of its own, far beyond her control. The very thing that had brought her fame and success was now a source of immense stress and guilt. She eventually deleted the original video and went silent on her social media accounts, overwhelmed by the negativity. Her story serves as a stark reminder that in the digital world, you can become famous for something you created. But you can't always control what people do with it. So, what can we learn from this? First, digital literacy is more important than ever. We need to be able to critically evaluate the content we see online. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it's safe or a good idea to replicate. Think before you trend. Ask yourself, what are the potential risks here? Is a few seconds of potential online fame worth a potential trip to the emergency room? Second, the platforms themselves have a responsibility. While they've made strides in content moderation, their algorithms are still a black box for most of us. There needs to be more transparency and accountability. Perhaps algorithms could be tuned to deprioritize content that shows risky behavior, even if it's highly engaging. This is a complex technical and ethical challenge, but it's one we must address. We need a digital environment that prioritizes user well-being over raw engagement metrics. Finally, we as a community have power. Instead of just passively consuming content, we can actively shape the culture. We can choose to amplify positive creative trends. We can use the report button for content that promotes dangerous acts. We can leave comments that encourage safety and discourage recklessness. The online world is a reflection of our collective actions. If we want it to be a safer, more positive space, we have to be part of the solution. The Gravity Defy challenge eventually faded, replaced by the next dance, the next meme, the next viral sensation. But the stories of those who were harmed and the story of its creator remain. They are a powerful lesson about the double-edged sword of viral fame and the real-world consequences of our online actions. The internet connects us in amazing ways, allowing creativity to flourish and spread across the globe in an instant. But with that power comes a shared responsibility to ensure our digital playgrounds do and become real-world emergency rooms. Let's remember to be smart, be safe, and think critically about the trends we choose to follow and promote. If you've ever felt pressured to participate in something online that made you feel unsafe, or if you're struggling with the consequences of online trends, please know that help is available. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional can make a world of difference. Your well-being is more important than any viral challenge. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on viral challenges? Have you seen them go wrong? Let's talk about it respectfully in the comments. And if you found this video insightful, please consider liking and subscribing for more deep dives into digital culture. Stay safe out there.